Well, hello.
Hi there.
It's another episode of Würfelcast. Here we are.
Huzzah.
Yeah, it's been a while. You know,
A little while, mostly because of you.
well, I had my reasons.
it's it's always good to have reasons.
Yes, we're going to talk about that today anyway. What reasons did I have? But, uh, how are you doing?
I'm alive. I'm well. I spent yesterday playing games, so that's always a good way to spend it.
Yes, that's a good way to spend it. And I
I'm
watched,
still buried under a mountain of unplayed games, but that's okay.
yeah, yeah, me too. I have a few unplayed, but, you know,
Yeah, I have a
uh,
few
it's,
too.
it's, yeah, you have a few hundred too. I mean,
I have it is Kickstarter fulfillment season. They're just starting to come in for the year. And let's just say I'm feeling behind.
well, I still haven't gotten my Dragon Eclipse.
Well, it's all
Uh,
right. It'll come soon.
yeah, I
I've
mean,
gotten it, played through it, enjoyed it, and am thinking of playing it again.
well, they seem to start shipping to some European customers, but there's only like the first container is there and it's shipping, and the second container will be there soon. Still at the sea, which means if I'm the one who gets it from the second container, it's probably gonna be, I don't know, in a month.
That just means it's twice as good.
Well, my birthday is coming up, so
That's true.
if I get it on my
Maybe
birthday, I mean,
you can play Dragon Eclipse by yourself for your birthday. What a wonderful birthday present.
yes, that's what I want. I want to be all alone, soaked into the story. No. Anyway, let's start. Let's start the episode as usual.
Let's go. Let's go.
The watchers babble,
All right. I'm
and
ready.
here we go. So tell me, Kyle, did you watch Severance? No.
I watched that a couple of years ago. I haven't watched the new stuff. Um, I have someone visiting me, and when someone's visiting me, I often dust off older shows that that person might enjoy. Uh, so lately, we have been watching a lot of an older anime called My Hero Academia. I say older; it's not that old,
Okay.
but it is definitely enjoyable. So this is your typical. Well, it starts out at least as this kid has many people, 80% of the population have some kinds of superpowers. This kid really has a lot of heart and wants to be one, but does not have the genetic predisposition, and yet he's always studying the heroes and trying to learn what they're doing. And the world's most powerful superhero is kind of at the end of his time in the light and has the ability to pass his specific power on to someone, and finds this kid and trains him to be sort of a superhero. And then he goes to the school, and then of course the world falls apart and there's all kinds of horrible things happening. um,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun. It's well done. At least the animated version is. I've not read the comic, but the characters are enjoyable, and there's a lot of development. And as in most of these shows, it definitely takes a journey. And, it starts here and it ends up way over here. But I've
Hmm.
really enjoyed it, and it's been interesting, kind of knowing what's coming, to go back and rewatch it. There's not that much. It's just a few seasons. I think there's maybe five. I don't know how many, but and there's probably new stuff coming. But anyway, my friend's really been enjoying it, and it's been fun to get it back out.
Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. I still want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen
Okay.
and maybe something else. I don't know. I'm not sure yet because it's an investment. If you go in there and it has,
It is.
I mean,
I mean, I will say this one is shorter than, something like, for example, One Piece, which is a little hard to catch up on without some serious investment. Um, this one's just a few seasons. And, it's
yeah.
as good a time as any. I'm kind of hoping, actually, that there's one more season and it wraps up the story and we're done. Just because I don't need this to be going on for another 30 years. Um, but
Well,
now's as good a time as any.
yeah. All right. And for mine, I thought about um, telling you about. I wouldn't say quirky, but it has a quirky taste to it. The TV shows about cooking, Korea. They do weird stuff, but it's also really cool to watch. But then I remember that I watched a recent movie called Electric State, The Electric State.
Oh, I heard that was good.
Well, so the critics destroyed the movie, say it's trash.
Oh, okay.
The
Well, I didn't
audience
listen from
is,
them.
I
Somebody
mean,
else told me it was good. Uh,
Rotten Tomatoes, it was like, I don't know, like maybe like 13% rating, and the audience is like 75%. So I'm like,
oh,
I'm
okay.
going to listen to the audience. And it's it's simple. It feels like a bit too short
Hmm.
for the world building that it has. Basically, there's animatronics, you can see it in the picture here, who are alive, and they start demanding their rights and revolting, and then somebody comes up with a robotic suit and then basically destroys this opposition, and they sign a treaty, and then they are dispelled into a secured location, like where they live and like try
Okay.
to live. And so everybody's it's like Apple Vision kind of a thing. Everybody's using this kind of a AI thing where they put the glasses on and then they control the robot. And there's some schemes behind it. There's a that the good guy who saved the world isn't the good guy. Kind of a thing. Usual
Right.
stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
and then the Millie Bobby Brown is the one who plays an orphan child who tries to save her brother or find her brother, because she learns the brother is alive, though they like there was a car crash and they kind of all died, the
Okay.
family died, but she survived, whatever. So so that's that. And I don't want to spoil too much. It's just a fun movie to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Fun to watch animatronics, fun to this. It's a cool world. I like this world. I would love to see it as a series. That would be, even a limited series would be better, because there's just not enough time for that great world building. It just it's not. It's how much is it? Like 2 hours, but ah, still not enough. It kind of speeds up too fast in the end. But I mean, maybe they'll come up with the second movie for,
Hmm.
I don't know what plot would that be, but whatever. Anyway, that's the Electric State. I would still recommend it. Look at the ratings. It's an easygoing movie,
Hmm. Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, some people recommended it to me yesterday, so I might end up giving it a watch at some point.
Yeah, and I like Chris Pratt. He's kind of
Okay.
funny here. Well, let's get back to what we're here for: board games.
Yeah. Oh.
And we have recent plays. Do you have any recent plays you want to talk about, or
I
recent
mean,
play?
if you look at yesterday, it was just unmatched all day. But a game that I kind of found recently, and this is an odd one because I've only played it on Board Game Arena. I don't have the physical version, although I will get the physical version given how much I've enjoyed it. The game is called Toy Battle,
Okay.
if you find it. And this is by Paulo Mori. Paulo Mori, the designer of many great games,
Oh, I see.
including Blitzkrieg, and this is Blitzkrieg is what this is the most like, although it's not the same game at all. But basically, you have this little tray, and you've got these tokens that are numbered 1 through 7, and then there's a duck. And there's two ways to win this game. You're either going to be, if you can make a continuous line of your pieces all the way to your opponent's base and put a piece on your opponent's home base, you win. Or there are these little stars around the middle of the board, and every time you completely enclose one of those areas, you get to collect those stars, and each of the different maps has a different score. And if you get to that score, then you also win the game that way. And it's a very interesting, and when you place a piece, place anything on an empty space, and you can only place a higher number on top of another piece. And you can put it on top of an opponent, and that, of course, disrupts the opponent's ability to kind of expand outward. But there are things they can do to, all the pieces have a very simple special action. The game is very simple. It's about 6 minutes to play. So whether you know you're going to love it or you're not sure, you're only in for about 6 to 10 minutes. And it's just really fast. It's very engaging. I've had a great time. I have wasted a lot of time playing this one online with other people, just because it's been so fascinating. And I'm very excited for it to come out. This is one of those games that will work really well as a two-player head game. Gives you all of those feels, but in a very, very short and very streamlined rule set.
Well, yeah, it seems to be that same genre of you have your hidden pieces with numbers on them, and then you clash them, and whoever is stronger gets the spot.
Yeah, I mean, you're just
Ah,
constantly taking over the spot. You don't. It's not really a clash. They don't knock each other out, but it is, but the duck can go on top of anything, and anything can go on top of the duck. So there's always kind of a way to do it.
it's the
It's
same idea.
it is a familiar feel of a game, but this one is very distilled and very playable.
Yeah, not my type of a game, but you know, why not? A toy battle.
Yeah. Okay. The toy theme is a little bit thrown on. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but and then there's I don't know how many maps come in the box. I know there's eight or so online, and
Okay.
each map has its own sort of flavor. There's a different score threshold and special spots that will give you some sort of one-time use bonus. And those vary from map to map. So they're all they have a small veneer of variety on them.
All right. Well, here we go. I'm gonna skip my recent play because today's topic of the day is
Is your recent
basically
play
my recent plays. So
very
we're
well?
gonna talk about a few games then.
Okay.
Now let's get to the next topic, which is crowdfunding.
All right.
And
So on
you've been involved in many of those, probably.
well, what are you saying? I have the ability to resist. I don't say that very
Uh,
often, but no, there was actually one recently that I almost went into, and I said, Kyle, do you really need that game? And the answer came out as no. But a game that I do really need is the
mhm.
sequel to Fromage, which is Formaggio, which is on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so Fromage is a great game, one I discovered shortly before the cruise, and has been a very successful play with lots of people because it's an adorable, delightful game about making cheese, and it's simultaneous worker placement, and you've got this wheel, and so you're only working on the piece that's in front of you, and then you'll rotate it. And that rotation kind of keeps your workers moving, right? They take different amounts of time to make better and better cheese or to do stronger actions, and then by rotating the wheel, it sort of eventually has them rotate back to you. This is more of that. So my only real complaint with the game is that there were only 4 boards. four sort of ways to score, and this game adds four more. And you can play this. You could buy this never having touched fromage and just play this version, or you can mix and match the different sort of slices to make a custom or randomly determined version for yourself, which is, of course, what I'm going to do because that sounds like more fun. This game is incredibly playable. It is extremely short. I mean, it's a 20-minute game, but it's a full game, and it's a unique and interesting way to handle both worker placement and simultaneous play. It works really well once people know the rules. I mean, you might have to watch people for a round or two, but once people understand, you're just placing on your board, doing the couple of things you want, it rotates. A lot of things to focus on, and so I'm excited about the game. I feel like I've played it because I've played its predecessor, and it's just more of that. If you like fromage, I think you'll love this. If you've never tried it, well, you could try this one. This one, maybe you want purple and pink instead of orange and white. Either
Hmm.
way, this game is one that does not disappoint. I'm pretty confident.
Well, it's not expensive. That's good because usually
It's
we
not.
have games that are now 60 as a minimum. And this one has 60 as a limited edition, which means like it has some
Has
special
the wooden
tokens like a
pieces.
deluxe
Yeah, yeah. It's got the
neoprene
wooden
lazy
pieces
Susan.
and the neoprene lazy Susan, which is nice. I will say the one that came with the fromage isn't great. I think they're improving it on this one so that it actually clips closed. Because the one complaint I had about fromage is there's a a little piece that goes on top of that lazy Susan, and that doesn't stay in place very well. This one, it looks like they've listened to feedback about that. I
Yep.
figured I'd probably just have to put a magnet on mine to keep it in place, but um, this one will solve that problem for you. And it's
All
not a
right.
big game, but again, this is a game that I get played all the time. Somebody comes over, they're like, I haven't played anything complicated. Let's do something easy. This is a go-to for that.
All right. All right. Um, my choice for today is if you have too much money,
Ah,
you might want to buy Champions of Midgard uh,
oh my
Anniversary
goodness.
Edition. Yeah. If you have too much money.
Yeah, if you have too much money, I really,
If
I should not have signed up for this one, but
I mean, it seems to be exactly the same thing. It's just with a bling
three times
on
as
and
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, 3D print some ships for no reason. And well, if you still want to get that, it's 250 plus probably shipping, which is like $100. I don't know. They never have. They always have expensive shipping. Gray Fox Games, and
They do.
as I know,
And
you can also get.
usually pretty poor production quality, so I'm hoping this one's a little bit better. Um,
Well, you have. You also have deluxe upgrade, which is $90, so you can get screen printed stuff. But it seems like you're not getting the all in bling with the upgrade. It seems like it's screen printed wooden stuff, but if I look here, okay, dice, yeah, these boats are collector's exclusive. I don't know, it's everything is like collector's exclusive. It doesn't seem to be a deluxe upgrade kit. It seems to be something else.
well,
Well, you can get
well,
it. You can. It.
those tokens, if they're wooden tokens rather than the cardboard ones, that'll be nice. The horns look like a needless excess, but
Yeah. So I don't know. This game is simple in a sense. It's just a worker placement game where you put your workers on, you collect resources, you then put them on the you put dice on the ships and go travel and fight monsters. It's just such a straightforward game, even with the expansions, that do you really need this bling? Do you really need all of those acrylic, 3D printed custom things? For some, yes, I'm sure if your game looks, but the problem is when we have those kind of games that are rather simple, let's say, yeah, it's not complicated, it's medium weight, it's on a simple side of worker placement. And if you have this huge big box edition, it's gonna be more difficult to get it out. I'm seeing this trend, I'm seeing this problem with
That is true.
myself where I have a huge box. Um, it's not intimidating. It's like, for example, I have Wingspan, a huge box, and I show it to someone new is like, oh, it's gonna be a huge game. It's not. It's just a huge box, which is at least half empty, or safe or whatever. But fine. But all of these huge boxes kind of send the signal that don't pick me up.
They definitely send that signal. And also, don't take me with you.
Yeah, don't take me with you. You cannot really take it with you. I don't know. But hey, if you have money, if you don't care about your shell space, or if you love to carry huge boxes around with you to go to some cafes, whatever, to play, why not? Everybody's gonna look at you like, ooh, look at that beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, that said, this is an enjoyable game, and it has been, I believe, I think it's been out of print for a while. So, I mean, this is a good game. It's not the best way to get into it. This is a very, so the cost on this is kind of shocking. I don't know that it has the guts to back up a $250 price tag.
Well,
However, if you can find the base game used, or you just, well, not the base, the core game with the expansions, because the expansions are
yeah,
fairly are quite good and improve the experience significantly, especially one of them. This is one worth checking out. I just don't know that this is the way to check it out.
yeah, yeah. If you're playing for the first, try to play it somewhere or find a used copy. Yeah, because this one, the deluxe version is 150, and I say plus shipping, and shipping is not uh shipping
Oh,
is expensive nowadays.
well,
Like
what
I usually pay.
150 isn't bad if it has the expansions with it.
Well, probably has, but let's say it's 150 plus 30 to $40 shipping. It's almost like nearing the 200. It's usually that with the Kickstarters that people always
Yeah,
like, oh, it's not that expensive. But then they get
yeah,
hit by the
fair enough.
shipping. And especially in Europe, we get expensive shipping. Like
Yeah.
when I looking at my what was the game Last Aurora, there's a pledge manager open, and
That's right. There it is.
for two smaller boxes, the shipping is like, I remember, like 35 euros. Is like, oh, it
Hmm.
just adds so much. Like if I spend 150 and then I have 35 euros extra, is it, you know do I need that? Do I really
Right.
need that? Well,
Fair enough. Yeah, it's one to try though. I will say this is a game that I actually have been really thinking about getting back out again, just because the game itself is a lot of fun.
here you go.
Okay,
$40.45.
the shipping is not cheap, but again, this is a game to watch, even if this might not be the best venue for it.
Yep. Okay. Let's get to the next topic, which is, let me go away from here. Buy, try, goodbye.
All right. So, for this week, since we're talking about your adventures at a board game party, I decided to talk about three games that I might play only at a larger group because they require a larger group.
Yeah.
So, here we go. The first one, and there's some classics and some newer ones. The first one is the new hotness. Everyone talks about this game. I have my own thoughts about it, but I will save them for another time. And that game is Blood on the Clock Tower. People
Okay.
kind of this game has kind of a cult following, uh, and I'm going to emphasize cult there. But
Yeah.
the people who really like this game really like it. For me, this is a lot like Werewolf, right? It's just more complicated. But if you play it with the right group, it can be enjoyable. There's a lot of different special abilities to do, but ultimately the core loop is to figure out who the demon is and identify and kill them so that you can win if you're a blue team player, or to help that person survive, or there's various other victory conditions. It is complicated. It's a very difficult game to run. You need somebody, rather than Werewolf, which needs somebody who can keep the story going. This one needs someone who can manage a lot of special abilities, and so it's almost like there are three teams. There's the good team, the evil team, and there's the person running the game. And as the person who always has to run the game, that's kind of daunting. Um, so,
Yeah.
but it's out there. It's a game that you need, a good 10, 15 people to have the best experience. So that's number one. Oh,
Okay.
also, it's quite expensive. It's like $150. Uh,
Well.
Number two, since we're mentioning price, number two is the opposite of that. This is a game. It is a classic. This is sort of the not the first social deduction game, but the one that brought it into the forefront in recent years, and that is the Resistance, specifically Avalon. This is a game where, again, you have a good and an evil team, but rather than needing a narrator, everyone's playing. You're going to be going on a certain number of missions, and when you are on the good team, you're going to vote for the mission to succeed. If you're an evil player, you could choose to vote for it to succeed to kind of cover your tracks, or to fail, and if the evil team gets a certain number of failures, then they win. It's whereas Blood in the Clock Tower has a lot of complicated structures on top of it. This one strips all those back, and this particular version, the Avalon version, is a little bit better because it has this. It has one character who knows who the evil person is, and because of that, then it sort of gives some more information to the good team. But if that person's too obvious, they can get shot at the end, and if the evil team kills that person, well, then they win. So again, very basic, kind of stripped back social deduction type game, but one that works well with a lot of groups because it's so simple to play. And our third one is the quirky social deduction game. This one is called Snakes.
Okay.
Um, and
Hmm.
Snakes. Yeah, there
Okay.
you go. You know why I said it that way.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
so this one has quite the cover, but in this one, it's basically a trivia game. So there's going to be a hard multiple choice question. I think it's multiple choice that nobody's going to know the answer to. I don't have an example off the top of my head, but it's going to be how many molecules are there in a jar of jelly beans, or something
Okay.
that no one will realistically know. There's one player who is just asking the question and is sort of running it. There's some snakes who know the right answer and need to cause everyone as a group to get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then the regular players who are, I think it's like the Gopher of Truth or Mongoose of Truth. That's the character who's answering, or who has the questions. And then the other players are just trying to guess the right answer. And so the snakes are going to be, guiding the discussion down the wrong path. And it's kind of more like Insider in that way, but it's even more reserved, sort of no weird voting. But it's a good game, again, for a bigger group of people who just want to do something fun together. So there you have it. Three not party, more social deduction type games that I might play
Okay.
at a board game camp.
Okay. Hmm. I hate werewolf. I like. I hate it
Well,
hated him.
fortunately, that wasn't one of your choices.
Well, there's games that are a bit similar to that, but so if I think about something that is similar to something I played before, like Insider, then maybe Snakes is the one to
Oh,
buy.
I forgot to mention, this one's incredibly cheap.
Well, here you go. I buy it. No, I mean it. I like games where you need to guess some answers, words, whatever. It seems to be up my alley. So you know, that's going to be a buy. Now, if we think about Avalon and or Resistance Avalon and the blood on the clock tower, I looked at the blood on clock tower. It's huge. It's complicated. It's overproduced. Seems to be for this kind of a game. It's very specific. It has this kind of a cult following. It's for a, in my opinion, for a specific crowd. At least I don't know. It seems so. So I don't know. I'm not interested in that. I'm not into, I'm not gonna invest my time into that kind of a game. Never. So it's a definitive goodbye. And that means Avalon is a try.
All right.
Because I mean, it's a smaller game, it's simpler, not really my type of a game, but I can at least try it. So yeah.
There we
Avalon
go.
try, blood on the clock tower, goodbye, and snakes bye.
All right. There you go.
Yay! We've done it. We've done
We
it.
did.
That's it. That's it. So goodbye. No, we're gonna talk about some games. We're gonna talk about some games because the topic of the day is, oops,
Bye, try, goodbye.
bye,
Oh,
try, goodbye. Yeah,
I don't have
it's
another one.
well. This time I'm giving you the different possibilities of that. So, well, I'm gonna talk about several games that I played at my board game camps. Basically, in recent years, we decided few of my friends and me we decided that instead of going to the board game camp in Estonia, which was fun at
It
some
was.
point, but became more expensive
Ah,
after COVID. So it's like, do I really want to, and I want to play my unplayed games. Usually I go there, I bring my games because it's not like, I think nowadays they have some kind of a library. The Brain Games
oh,
has some
good.
kind of a library with them, but a lot of people still bring their own games. It's like, that was the idea. Bring your own games. You can
Hmm.
put it on the common shelf. You can keep it to yourself and then bring it up. But it was like all about bringing stuff. I know, maybe signing it that it's your copy and then putting it on the common shelf. Everybody can play it. Um, I had some bad experiences where people neglect games in a sense that, for example, well, I'm lazy. I don't want to package it the way it was at first. I'm gonna just throw it all in. No, and then the box doesn't close well, and then they put several boxes on top of that thin box, and then it gets crushed. And but it's the discipline is not was not there completely. So some people treat games well, but there were also children who were not taught how to treat other people's possessions well. And uh, playing at home is, I would say, you can always have a pause, have something to eat, to drink. It's like the atmosphere is, the home atmosphere is there. And so me and three others, so we could get it together. This time we had four people on 2 days, like the Friday evening, Saturday, and then on Sunday we had only three of us.
Okay.
The fourth one couldn't make it.
So
But
not
yeah, so
enough
we
for blood
played.
on the clock tower.
Yeah, no, we usually play. So we usually divide games. There is another person who always buys some obscure, not very good games, some really bad games, and he for some reason buys them because they have discount or something like that. I don't know. It just why do you do that? And
We've all been there. Come on.
he just wants to buy, and then we have to play those games. So this time, in the last two, like, so, and I buy games that are popular or like they have more potential to be good. I'm not really just buying because, oh, this one has discount. Oh, it's a 10,000 on BGD. Whatever, it might be good. Oh,
It
the
might
rating
be.
is 5.6. No, it might still be good. No reviews, no videos about the game. Oh, it's gonna be amazing game. Yeah. So i'm
That
i'm
does
the
sound like
opposite
you.
of that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm the opposite of that. That's that other person. So we decided we're gonna play mostly the games I have, and he brought one game with them, which I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna be uh, a mad person at that point. Well, the first game we played, and Kyle here is to comment on all of that
All
and
right.
say if my picks were good or bad, or but I'm sure you're gonna say some good things about those games.
Well,
Well,
I already
my
know
first
some of them, so.
yeah, so my first one is unconscious mind, and
Good pick.
I can never write the word, can never spell the word. Well, so we
Good pick if you have an enormous table.
yes, so it took a lot of space. With with fit it, and one thing I want to say, we played it four player the very first time with some people who are AP prone. It's a bad idea. I
That's a
know, but
terrible
we had to
idea.
try it. So
Okay.
playing it with four players is just some turns are so slow, and some people are slow. I just have to admit.
True.
Uh,
But
Even
this
I
this
might
is a
be.
long game anyway. With four
Yes,
people, especially if all four are new, that would have been a rather lengthy experience.
yeah. So learning the game took a while, and then we played it. I enjoyed my experience. So this is a sort of a worker placement game with several other euro mechanisms attached to it.
Yep.
You try to cure patients by basically spending uh, resources which are emotions, whatever, and then you cure them, you get a reward, and you try to get the most points. And then there is a central board where you move around, and Freud moves around. This is a game about Freud's I don't know, whatever studies or something like that. You want to step
Largely
up.
debunked the largely debunked concept of Freudian psychoanalysis, which was very popular at that time period.
Yeah, so the theme is there's no theme. I mean, there's some theme maybe if you really squeeze your eyes and try to focus on that, but it's a euro game. When you start playing, you don't really feel a theme. You feel like messing around with a bunch of mechanisms. So the board in the center, I feel, is not that exciting. I didn't like that.
No,
It feels like it's an extra thing moving around the
it's
board.
expansion content. It feels like the expansion piece that was added on.
Yeah, the most fun is to manipulate this circle if I can find it. But anyway, there's basically like this circle where you gather those resources, and then you have to spend these different, I don't know, emotions or whatever psychological things uh,
Yeah.
to cure the dreams on the patients. There's that board with worker placement where you put your tokens, and then you do one cool thing is you do that action once or twice, so you can decide you put double the tokens, and then you do it twice, and so on. So that's cool thing to do. And this is a cool part. The other cool part is that you have this moving whatever it is, a potion glass, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't
you
know.
got some bottle of chemicals that's moving around this board.
Yeah, I cannot really tie it to any kind of a explanation or thematic explanation, but you move it around and you are able to activate the columns or rows of your thingy here. And so
Hmm.
the cool part about that is that I remember Black Angel had this kind of a similar thing where you fill it up with like technologies and then you can activate the row or a column. That's a cool stuff. As you fill it up, you get more stuff to do. So overly, it's a complicated Euro game with cool art, beautiful art, almost no theme, and nice acrylic translucent cards, which um, they they are there for the purpose of just showing you that there is something on a patient that haunts him, and then they have this kind of a bonuses printed on them where they are a bit fiddly to manage because you have to put it on top of the card. It's not in a sleeve, and then you pick up two cards, but they're like two separate cards. It's just one card on top of the other one. And when you put out a new patient, you put the new translucent card on top of that. It's a bit of fiddly,
It is.
but it works. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about the game. It's just a complicated game,
It
and I
is,
enjoy it.
and the theme is there, right? It's very much an sort of the theme is kind of on the top. It doesn't really connect with a single mechanism, uh, but the
Yeah,
whole experience I found as a two-player game, this is really quite enjoyable. Two players is perfect because the time is going to be a little bit more manageable and the table space is going to be a little bit more manageable. I've played it solo and I played it with three. I have kind of actively refused to play it with four. Um,
yeah. So yeah. I felt the same, and I think I said it there that I would love to play that too. This would cut the time. This would be, and I would throw in the expansion that I have. I have not played the Nightmares expansion.
I haven't played it yet either, and that's just because I often play with new people. From what I've read, I've gone through the rules. It just it adds an extra thing to keep track of, which is going to be, more work. So it's definitely not one to start people on.
Yeah, true. So this game, I want to play it two player with somebody I played it already with,
Yeah.
so they at least know the basics of the game. So yeah, that's Unconscious Mind.
Victor quite
Good,
enjoyed it,
a good game.
so
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I showed it to him when he was here.
It doesn't create AP for me. I'm not an AP person really. It did create AP for some other people where there's a certain person who is a great friend and a good gamer, but he usually wants to find the Uber combos. He wants to find those magical combos that he would do, and then it makes him a bit paralyzed during some
Got
turns.
it. And that this game definitely would encourage
Yes.
that.
The next game is that we played, and this one we played three player because the second person was a bit late on Saturday. It's Clank Catacombs that I
I played
bought.
this one.
Yeah, you played this one. We played it with the layers and whatever expansion.
Yeah, something in layers. Um,
I didn't remember anything about the game when I started playing it again. So, I mean, I remembered some stuff, but it's once you get into it, it's straightforward. Yeah, it's your clank, but it's a random clank, and some people complain about it, like they cannot plan because there's not no board that shows you every path. You just have to kind of a risk, and I like that idea. When I played
you
it with you,
you did not like it when you played it with me. It seems you've come
no,
around.
I said I liked it, but not enough
Ah, I see.
to buy a copy. I mean, I liked it still. It's still Clank, but I was like hesitant to which I like more because I had this kind of a fresh memory of Clank Legacy, which was amazing. It's uh yeah, but then I thought like I need a Clank in my collection because it works, and I'm gonna buy Clank Catacombs because it's I when I played it again, I enjoyed the idea of randomness. Because it's gonna be different each time. It's gonna
Well,
be you're gonna just react to stuff. You just have to react to stuff as it comes by,
mhm.
and you're gonna risk more. And the treasure system, I don't know yet. I'm not sure about the treasure system and how they come up. So if you find the first tile with the treasure kind of on it, you put the lowest treasure.
Unless it's a special one that has like a +1 or something on it, then you put a higher valued one. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I would have just made tiles that are like you can randomly just find a 20 treasure and you can randomly find a 5 treasure, not gradually put them. But I understand why, because the more you explore, the deeper you go, the bigger the treasure. Yeah, I understand that.
Well,
So
you
anyway,
don't want the 20 to be the first one that somebody grabs on their first random tile and then runs out and just ruins. That would ruin the
yeah,
game.
yeah,
You could, though, right? I mean, you could divide them into two piles, a high
mm,
pile and a low pile, and play some random. I've not tried that, but I mean, that could be a variant you could come up with.
yeah, true. Anyway, that's Clank. You play cards, you move around, you discover tiles, you do stuff.
Yeah,
There's
it's
some
Clank.
things that need FAQ, some things with especially the layer expansion where there's one layer that I couldn't understand. It's like if you grab a thing out of there, then you can teleport. But if
The
somebody
statue
goes,
layer.
yes, something I don't know. But if you go in there, there's nothing to grab, then you're kind of stuck. And we just house ruled it that you can still teleport even if you
Hmm.
don't have anything to grab. So and there's no definitive answer to that. So
Yeah. So my only issue with Clank Catacombs, and this is the smallest of issues, but it's probably a feature, not a bug, is because the tiles come out randomly, it can be very difficult to plan the table space for this game, right?
yes,
Because it's just going to come out, and these tiles aren't small. It's not like, the little tiny squares like in that subterranean game that you like. These are really big, and the
huh?
way that they come out can cause you to have to sort of move stuff around. I wish there were a way to solve for that. It's the smallest of issues, and with a big table you can solve for that, but you just have to be aware table space is a problem for this game.
It is. It depends how you expand. So some people go this way or that way, and sometimes we're like, it forces me to go that way because I cannot fit that tile on that table, so I'm just
Right.
gonna go that way, kind of a thing, you know. But yeah, you
Yeah.
never know. It can be this way, it can be this way, it can be whatever other way. Yeah, that's an issue if you don't have a perfectly square table, huge
A,
square
a
table,
huge square table. Uh,
huge. We're gonna make it huge again. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
good.
Clank Catacombs. Gosh,
There you go.
too much C's. All right. The next one I played is the one I played several times on the cruise. I enjoyed it, and I said that I really enjoy it. And another person, when he heard the rules, they were like, "I hate it." I'm like, "Okay, just play a turn or two." Then he played a turn. He's like, "I hate it," but you still haven't done anything really. It's like the first turn. Just play it a bit. And
Was
he
this
was
person in the
frustrated.
mirror?
No, he
Oh,
was. So it's Joyride.
I love Joyride.
Well, and I said it can be random. It's not as random as this Thunder, whatever the.
Thunder Road Vendetta. True.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely not as random as that.
You
Uh,
can still plan, and even if you're behind, you can still win because somebody makes a mistake, and you can do whatever you turn at some point. Everything falls, right into your hands, and then you still win. I had this when I was behind, and then I somehow won the game. Um,
yeah.
and because I played it several times, I can see that it's a tactical game. It's not as random as some people may claim, and it is a race game, which I usually don't like. But this one is a free roam race game in a sense. You have to go through the labs, but you can go this way or that way. It's like you have this small weapons thing. You have this idea of the dice that you roll, and then you lock some, and then you re-roll some. Sometimes you have to take a chance on those dice. You're like, "Oh, I'm never gonna roll three threes on those
No,
dice.
that
So,
would be impossible.
yeah, and then you roll, and then three threes. I'm like, oh, I'm smashing into the
Crap.
wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I remember Kyle playing and trying Nitro, and always crashing. Always.
It always
It's like
exploded on me.
1/6 of a chance, and then he always rolls this explosion thing. And it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that one person didn't really enjoy the game. Like he was, is it prejudice, or like he was prejudging the game even before he started playing, and he couldn't. Uh, for some reason, he couldn't figure out this sweeping, turning thing. So yeah, but
Okay. Oh, the steering. Yeah.
steering, yes, not sweeping, steering thing. But whatever, it's just when you go into
I
the
mean, that
game.
is the weirdest rule, right? It doesn't necessarily make sense until you've done it a few times, and then
Yeah,
suddenly it just clicks for you. Um,
it didn't click for him through the whole game.
mm, that's unfortunate. That could ruin the game if you didn't understand that.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, don't go into the game with this negative mindset that I am gonna hate it. It's
You know,
it's not.
I might save this clip and play it to you in the future.
Well, I'm just not playing those games that I think I will hate. I mean, like it's I'm choosing the games I play.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When I'm
So
certain
this
I'm
is a
not gonna
really
like it.
fun game, though. I,
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, this was one that I on the cruise wasn't all that interested in. It was Victor that made me play it, and I really liked it. And it's been one of the most successful games I've learned in the last couple of months because
yeah.
it's a game that just pretty much everyone. It sounds like you have found one person who didn't enjoy it, but pretty much everyone can get into and really have a good time. I even played it 5 player once, and if you look at the side of the box, it doesn't support 5 players. But we happened to have 5 people over. 4 of them wanted to play it, and I was like, okay, um, this is how you do it with 5 players.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Uh,
because it's such a bizarre, wild game, it didn't really matter. Basically, they took their first turn, and then I volunteered to be last, and then I went. I just sort of spawned on the board after they left the starting line. It wasn't that big a deal.
mhm. Yeah, it's an easygoing game. You have to, when you play it, you have to not take it seriously.
Oh,
Just
of
if you
course not.
smash, you smash. I mean, the damage. The one thing I have, the one I would say criticism I have is the damage you don't really care about. It doesn't do too much to you. Sometimes explosion makes you shift down. That's huge. Shifting down. That's fine. But just taking damage, yeah, you cover one of the spots, but you rarely use gear 5. Gear
True.
5!
Yeah.
Mika.
So I will say some of the scenarios have you start with 2 or 3 damage. If you
Oh,
start with 2 or 3 damage, you will feel those last damages.
you might feel. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's that. But you can push other people. You can rotate them. If you go sideways, they rotate, and you mess up their whole thing because now they are
Hmm.
backwards. That's
Yep.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
It's a good
and you
one.
can always
It's
say gear force. It's just
well, you can, although you kind of have to know who you're playing with, because some people might think you're just being dumb.
yeah. Well, nobody they don't really watch One Piece, so
Okay. Yeah,
I
it's a
like my
fun
gear
one. I'm
force.
glad you were able to get it. Were you able to get all of the expansions?
No, I got only the pirate expansion. I
I
haven't
mean,
found the other ones yet.
honestly, so the expansions, I mean, I got them all.
Of
The
course.
extra boards are kind of not all that exciting, right? It's just a different board. Sometimes there's a small, feature on it. The animals that run around are kind of obnoxious, But the different cars are a lot of fun because each car has its own slight different way of playing, and so
I'm gonna get a taxi.
I wish you could just buy the taxi without buying you know the map and the book and all the other pieces or whatever other car you want. But the taxi
Yeah,
and the safari car are the two that are the most fun of the expansion cars.
I see. Okay, maybe I'll get them when I get a chance.
Yeah.
All right, my next game is the one I was waiting for a long time. Came in,
Dragon
I
Eclipse.
played it. No, it's not here yet. Yeah, I played it in my
Mhm.
mind. Yeah. Uh, so this one is Cyclades, but
Ah,
or Cyclades or whatever legendary edition. Look, if you like Cyclades, or if you love it, you're gonna love this game because this is,
the
I
same
would
game.
say, 80% same game
Mhm.
almost. And if you hate Cyclades, I'm not sure you will love this. You might, you might,
You if you hate it, you probably didn't buy the expensive Kickstarter version. That's probably a safe
but
bet.
I mean, like if somebody else buys it, if you're hesitant to try it, if you hated certain parts that now are fixed, you know. Anyway, this is Cyclades. Yeah, this is an expensive edition. You can see a lot of miniatures and stuff that I bought the all-in thing because it's Cyclades. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And what it does differently is the map is because you can see made of different tiles and you can rotate and put them in different ways. It's a modular map. That's cool because we had the map where there was like one large island of several spaces and there were
Right.
some very few small islands and so on. So and I think you can. Oh no, it's not here. No, maybe there is some kind of a randomizer of a map that can be implemented here via app or something like that, or via the
Hmm.
website. I don't know. Anyway, um, what it brings here, mostly the gameplay is the same. You know, how you move the ships, how you move your troops. Now the difference is, first of all, the track of or the bidding track is now not like 0 through 10. It's 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 7, 10, 15. And it makes it more dynamic because jumping from 10 to 15 now it's like, ooh, you know and the bidding thus is faster because this jump even of 3 coins or 5 coins, it's just like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough money then for that other thing, so I want to buy this monster and so on. So that's that. The second thing is that the heroes, which were in the Hades expansion, and I like Hades expansion, not the Hades himself. It was not interesting, but Hades expansion brought you priestesses, brought you heroes. Heroes were in the same deck with the monster, and
Hmm.
if they come up, they come up. Now here, what they made, the monster deck is a monster deck, and then the heroes deck is a separate thing. And yeah, you can get heroes, and then with same with monsters and heroes, you can. There's no maintenance cost anymore, but you need to just I don't remember exactly. I didn't get any heroes this game, but it's like there's not that maintenance, and it's not mixed with monsters. All gods now have possibility of moving your troops if you have a hero. Your hero is like a titan from the
Like a
Titan
Titan.
expansion.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
so the hero moves you along. The Titans were a, a bad addition. I think that's good that they just cut the Titans because I I didn't like Titans expansion. Well, yeah, this one is cool, and you can spend whatever money. Now uh, the actions that are written, like there's some mandatory actions that you need to have, like a mandatory action to build. You have to build. You don't need to
Hmm.
pay money for that anymore. You just get the building, you build it. That's it. And then you have Hera, which spawns mercenaries and can buy you heroes. So Hera gives you heroes and gives you mercenaries, which is cool. because now you not only like you have Ares that spawns troops, and then you might have also a Hera that spawns troops. So that's cool, and the gods are rotating all the time if you're not playing like with full amount of players. So there's lots of cool things about it. The monsters and
Okay.
stuff maybe might have been revised. I don't remember exactly,
Well,
all of that.
that would require a lot of work to compare them.
And now you need to build and this is the meeple version. Now you need to build 3 metropolises
Hmm.
in order to win the game. 2 was a bit somebody could rush it, and then with 3 you will really plan here.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's just the same formula, Titans made better. I think
Okay.
this version is superior to the previous version. This is a very good game. I really enjoy it,
Good.
and I like my production.
Good. I haven't got mine yet, but I will. I'll have some thoughts on it at some point in the future.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, my next one. There's only a few left. My next one is the game that person I talked about, like who buys obscure games, brought to this camp, and we played it. Well, at first it was like, "Ooh, it's a cool production. It might be good." I'm gonna reserve my judgment, but I usually
Wait.
know
Sorry,
that.
sorry. Who are you?
Well, look,
Wait,
I
reserving your judgment until after you've played the game?
yeah, that's me. That's me. No, really,
Uh-huh.
really, it's the problem with this one is that he usually brings games that aren't good. It's like 95%
Okay.
he shows us is not good. So I'm like, my expectations are low. Another
Okay.
game that I never heard about, it's called Court of the Dead.
Oh, this is a good
Mourner's
game.
Call.
Oh no. Is
Uh,
this the one I'm thinking of? No,
I'm
I'm thinking of something else. Never. I'm thinking of Cursed Court. No, I don't like this game. I played this one.
yeah. So yeah. What to tell? I'm not into like Cyclades is a bit different for me. It's a bit unique for me. I'm not into area majority, area control games really. There are some exceptions, but here you have a bunch of different mechanisms put together, and some of them work, some of them do not. So you try to collect 3 kind of a resources in a blood rage style when you also spend them, but they give you points at the end of the game if you collect a lot of them, and then you collect points, which are those coins, and then coins have a limited there's limited amount of coins like per player, and then when they are taken, the last one is taken away, the game is in its ending phase, whatever.
Hmm.
So the game itself, yeah, you have different troops, and you have uh there's like a color of a troop, and then you have 2 different sculpts per that color, which corresponds to that track here below, where you also mark of which troop you have, how many you have of that troop, and then at some point there's a phase where, and there's like 10 phases. I'm like, oh, why do you need 1,000 phases different? This phase is called this one. This phase is called this one. Oh my god! Just anyway, you have these troops, and then at some point you evaluate who has the most of them. If you have the majority of that kind of a troop, then you win the bonus. And some bonuses are meh, and some bonuses are really good.
Hey, hope you want those ones.
Yeah, there's one bonus. I don't remember if it was here or on the card. There was a bonus that gives you a token, which
Hmm.
protects you for the whole round from dying. All of your
That's
troops
great.
are intangible. Like they are you cannot kill them,
Okay.
which breaks the game. Because why would you do this? It's
Oh, I know
oh,
why I want
it's
that.
it's so bad. It's so bad. So that's that. That's that. And then there's cards which kind of correspond to your troops, but not really. They are just cards that give you special abilities, which are that troop color related, but really aren't related to exact miniatures or whatever. Just They're just like cards, they're cards.
Hmm.
You just get powers in them. Small or big, some of them are good, some of them are useless. That's that. Um, at the beginning of each round, you have those crystals that you divide in I split you choose style. One person divides all the crystals into a certain amount of piles. Let's say we play a 4-player game, it's 4 piles. They can divide them however they want. They can make it one pile with 0 or one pile with 1 and the other 2 piles with more. There's no reason to do that. It's like, why? Because the person who divides those crystals will be the last one to get from that pile. Instead of getting the pile of crystals, you get 2 of one resource or something like that. Now, what was like I split you choose mechanism here is useless because we ended up always dividing them as evenly as possible, because otherwise, and you
Yeah.
need those crystals. You really need those crystals. Those crystals are also resources that you spend on different things. You need them.
Mm.
So it's like, why? You will never split it in a way like, oh, I'm gonna make 2 huge piles and 1 small one, and then you're
Well,
getting the
because you'll end
small
up
one,
with a
and
small one.
then you're helping other players get huge piles of crystals. Like,
Hmm.
what's the point?
Yeah.
Pointless thing. Such a bad idea. Then you
Mm.
have those cards, which are event cards. In the corner here, you can have whatever they are, like artifacts, events, whatever they are. And if you grab a card from the top, just one card, and it's a kind of a mission you have to fulfill. Um, some of them are useless or really hard to do, and some of them are easy and give you a huge bonus. So if you drew a bad card, you suck. If you drew a good card, here you go. It's like, oh my god. It's some of them is like, if this specific card is played, then you do this artifact. I'm like, oh, if this specific card is played in that kind of a phase, I'm like, why? So this deck useless. Let's burn it up. Then there's drafting phase with huge cards that are different. I don't know, creatures, whatever. They give you abilities and they give you some resources, whatever. You draft them, and then you only draft 3 of them. And there's a small stack of cards, so it's a bit boring. But this is one of the things that was fine. And then there's a phase where you evaluate troops on the board and the track. So the track tells you how many troops, it doesn't matter who they belong to, how many troops can stand in one spot. So if the track is high up, it will be like just 1 troop can stand in one spot. It's like limiting your
Mm.
majority thing. I'm like, why is why is this track there? It's a game about area majority, area control. You want to fight other players. How is it resolved? You ask me, or you don't.
I
But
didn't.
if you ask me, how is it resolved? And let's say you asked me.
Oh, wait.
Well,
How is it resolved?
yeah. Well, let's say the limit per each region is 1 guy. And
Hmm.
then let's say in one location you have 2 of your guys and 1 of another player. We all roll a die for each of one of our troops. We all roll a die.
Great.
If you're unlucky, your troop gets killed.
Oh.
If you're lucky, your
What if it's
troop
immortal?
stays there. If you don't roll dice, if you have this immortal token, you
Ah.
just don't roll dice for any of these. It's like the most overpowered thing in the game. So basically, there's no fighting each other. It's like based on the luck. Like, and you see that this kind of the track is high up, so there's not many troops that can stay there. So okay, I'm gonna go there and try to get the majority. But the majority is evaluated after you roll the dice. You just roll the dice. If you're unlucky, all your troops are gone. Even if you had 3 of yours, 1 of his, you just roll the dice and see. And then you can lose all 3 of your troops, and he stays there. Where's the area majority? Where's the area control? Where's the fighting? Where's the fighting for a
Sounds
spot? It
fun.
limits you. What?
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it limits you. It's a such a bad game. I want to do this kind of a. There was a game that Tom Basso threw off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the same things to this game. It's sadly not my copy, so I had to
Well, you could probably buy one.
buy one and throw it away.
Yeah.
The production is nice. The theme is not there. I mean, like the dead, the court of the dead, the mourner's call. I'm like, oh, cool things. No ties to the theme.
Yeah.
Abysmal mechanisms, randomness that just why is it there? This game just this game is broken. And some people, I see some of the ratings. Some people really enjoy it.
Good.
I don't see any value in it. It's. I gave it 2 out of 10 because the drafting phase was fine.
Oh.
That's it.
Well, that's not a very good score. I played this one. I got it from Kickstarter back in the day, and I was not particularly enamored with it. So, that's kind of that was kind of my thoughts about it. I just didn't find it all that interesting.
Just buy Blood Rage. I mean, it tries to be a little bit. I mean, it tries to be a little bit of a Blood Rage, but for the others who don't have who think if they want to buy this one, no, don't just buy Blood Rage. It's going to be an amazing game. This one is a garbage. All right.
Okay.
So we're nearing the end. Another game that I played, and we played it for a very long time. I think I already wrote you about this. It's SETI.
Ah, yes.
And the two of them were very AP prone. And I understand you played for the first time, and I played for the second time quite a few months apart, which I didn't even remember the rules for that game. So it's not like I'm in a huge advantage.
Right.
It's so yeah, this is your Euro game. The theme is somewhat there, somewhat not. I call it an Arnak on steroids because it does some similar things. It has tracks. It has another worker placement. It has the card combo thing. So you play out cards. They can give you actions. You activate actions on your board. You can upgrade those actions, make them better. You send probes to space, and then you roam around with those probes on different planets until you decide I'm going to stay at that planet. Then you can land your rover or satellites around the planet, or land your rover on the planet, get points, gets alien traces. You want to get different alien traces so you can activate the alien. It becomes available, and then it gives you some kind of extra things and more powerful cards, whatever. It's your Euro game. You try to collect the most points. The central board is rotating each time some things trigger it, the rotation of that board, so it changes, which is cool. I like that. How you optimize your cards and technologies. The cards are multi-use. You can have a free action with those cards, a small free action. You can play them and pay the cost for their main action, or you can, if you get an income icon, you can tuck the card underneath your income, so your income becomes better. The resources are very tight, so you will not have enough energy, enough money for everything. You have to really plan. You have to really, kind of get to it. But everything works. It works well. Everything is thought through, not like the last game. All of the mechanisms, and even with Unconscious Mind, SETI is a better game because it just, all of its phases, all of its boards work. Unlike in Unconscious Mind, where the board where you go around the city is not really.
That's right.
Needs to be there. There's a lot to discover. You don't need expansions for this game right now. You can play it a bunch and still feel great about it. You might want more aliens as an expansion. I'm sure the expansion will come. It's a popular game.
Oh, I'm sure. This game's very successful, and that's really what it needs, is about 10 more alien races, and then it'll be perfect.
Yeah. So some of them are not that exciting alien races. Some of them are kind of exciting. We had this kind of a alien with fossils.
That's not my favorite one, the purple alien.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I got few fossils and then I traded them for 25 points. I got my turn
That could be
done.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, other people, they were the other two players they played with me were very slow. It's an AP prone game in a sense, and if you play it for the first time, the same problem as with a conscience mind. You
Yeah.
just have so many combos you want to do, and then and as I said, one player is the one who tries to find the biggest combo ever, and then this game is all about combos. This game is
Yeah.
about triggering that stuff with the other stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, we played it for too long.
I mean, I like this game. I like teaching this game. I don't mind playing it with four, but I really
Mm.
need at least two of the four to be experienced.
Well, we played it at four. We played at four.
Yeah.
Three of us were new to the game, but it didn't take us long.
Okay.
I remember it took us like 2.5 hours,
Oh, when you played with me? Yeah, that's right. It was about 2.5 hours, which, okay,
which is
this is a
fine.
long time, but for this game, it's a big game. So and all three of you did fine at keeping things moving. Um,
I mean, like it took us here 5 hours, and my turns
that's
were
too
the
long.
quickest.
That's much too long. Hmm.
Yes.
So, okay, well, don't do that. But I love SETI. SETI was my number two game of last year. I really enjoy it. So,
Yeah, it's a great game. I don't want to add too much to it. It's just you just have to try it to you have to play it, and I wouldn't say it replaces Arnak for me because Arnak is
oh
a
no,
different
it's different
game,
games.
and I really like Arnak. So
I mean, other than the fact that they're from the same publisher and I think one of the same artists, the two games are not that similar.
yeah, they have some similar traits to it, but I mean, like which I like more. I think I still like Arnak more because it's less complicated. It's easier to get to the table, easier to play with people who are not very gamery gamers. That's it.
My big box should be on its way soon, I hope.
Oh, they Arnak. Oh, they have pre-orders till the end
Yeah,
of
I'm hoping
March.
it'll be coming soon. I don't know how long the order's on, but I just remembered that. Yeah, I'm excited for that to come. Um,
Okay, all right.
unrelated, but
So
you mentioned it.
yeah, the last one, which is now very small game. It's they send me a copy as review copy. I need to play it more. It's called Druids, aka Darkness. Um, well, it's I don't know, like a self-published, small, very small card game. It's not a looker, definitely not a looker. But what it basically does is it's outguessing your opponent. You have cards in the middle which are turned like upside like that, and then you have some artifacts, and they have these color codes here, and you have different. You have the cards with those colors as well, like different ones. You can see here. Maybe wait, let me see here. And simultaneously, you play 3 cards, then 2 cards, then 1 card. It's all of
Okay.
6 cards, and then you want to pursue that kind of a artifact or pursue that kind of a thing, and it's a set collection. So the more you have of the same thing, the more points you score. And it's fine. It's cool. And then there's darkness, where if you don't manage the darkness at all, and certain amount of cards goes away without being managed, you look at the player who has the fewest of those cards, and everybody else discards
Mm.
their extras to get the same amount. So if somebody has like 3 of those and somebody has like 20 of those already, 120 of those, then that's going to be a huge blow for them. So that's the thing where I think like this really locks that player who doesn't want to lose all of his cards to doing the darkness, to just focusing
Mm.
on the darkness. Like and
Hmm.
you know that like it's a collective thing. You have to kind of a collectively kill. But if somebody like if you have so many cards already and you are afraid of losing it, the other players know that you will do it, so they can focus on their thing. So yeah, you play those. There's a primary color, and if you have, let's say, both of you have 2 of the green, then you look at secondary color. If you have, and if I have 1 orange, you don't have any, I get the card. And there's some artifacts that are on the side which have the color codings of certain amount of certain cards. So you get the artifacts, you can play them, they give you small advantages. And that's it. You play until the pile is done and then collect points. Not much to say. It's very small. You can skip it.
Mm.
But
Okay.
why not? It
Well,
wasn't bad.
I have nothing I can do. Nothing I can say about that game.
It's not the end of the world if you skip it. It's
Yeah, that's kind of
yet another small publisher
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
Nice idea, but it needs more gameplay.
Got
It
it.
needs something more.
Okay.
And that's it. That's it. It took me a
Great.
while, I know, but
It did.
I mean,
You
I
could have
tried my
played a
best.
game of Unconscious Mind in that time. 2 players.
Well, probably setting it up is a lot of.
You
Like,
could have
takes a
set
lot of
up a
time.
game of Unconscious Mind.
Yes, because setting it up, it takes a lot
It
of
is- it
room,
is
takes
a-
a lot of time. I mean, I really want to get some kind of a insert or something that will ease up the.
The insert's not great. I have the 3D printer. Maybe
mean,
I'll
custom
see if
insert.
there is one. Yeah, the one that comes with the game is just not great.
There's no insert in the game. It's like just
mine came with one.
you had the special insert, kind of a Kickstarter copy.
Yep,
Got it.
but it's not
Okay.
great.
I see. Mine is the retail copy, so.
Got it.
All right. That's it. Thank you for watching.
Okay. Well, we will end it here and see you next time.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some wonderful
Something
stuff,
else?
which
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what we're
Something
gonna
to be
talk about.
determined. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks,
That's
so we'll
good,
be
yes.
fine.
Still
All right.
played great games and had fun.
Sounds like you played some great games.
Well, all of them are great.
And a stinker
Except-
or two.
Yeah, except the stinker that I want to
Mhm.
throw off the roof. That's how mad I
Very
am.
well. Okay. Enjoy.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.